She slid the pages across the table like a gift. 10 sheets, neatly stacked, her handwriting soft and rounded, the way she used to write grocery lists and love notes. The paper trembled slightly under her fingers, but her smile didn't. It was proud, relieved. "I wrote everything," she said. "Everything." The word landed heavier than the stack. I didn't touch it yet. I watched her instead. The way her shoulders finally lowered. Like a prisoner confessing to a crime she believed would set her free. Outside the window, snow was falling in slow, deliberate silence. The world looked clean, forgiving. She thought this was forgiveness. I let the pause stretch. Let her sit inside it. My pulse was steady. Too steady. That frightened me more than anger would have. "You said it would help," she whispered. I nodded. "Write it down to heal." That's what I told her last night while she cried into my chest, my voice gentle, measured, therapeutic. I even kissed her hair after I said it. She melted into me like I was safety itself. Now the evidence of her soul sat between us. I picked up the pages. They were warm from her hands. I didn't read them yet. I just felt the weight. 10 pages of sin. 10 pages of truth she believed would save us. Her eyes searched my face, hungry for mercy. I reached for my phone instead and dialed. The first suspicion wasn't dramatic. No lipstick on a collar. No midnight phone call. Just silence. A new kind of silence. She started guarding her phone like it contained state secrets, laughing at messages she never shared, showering longer, sleeping angled away from me. Small movements, micro-betrayals. The body confesses before the mouth does. I cataloged everything. I didn't accuse her. Accusations are for the desperate. I became attentive, warm, supportive. I cooked dinner. I asked about her day. I became the version of me she used to brag about. And she relaxed. That's when the mistake started. A name flashed once. Only once. She snatched the phone so quickly she knocked over her glass. Wine spread across the table like blood. She laughed too loudly, said it was a coworker. I smiled. Later that night, I memorized her passcode by watching the reflection in the TV screen. She never noticed. There it was. Months of messages. Not just sex. That would have been simpler. This was intimacy. Shared jokes. Complaints about me, dreams, plans. He knew her fears. He knew her favorite song. He called her brave. She called him home. I read everything without blinking. My chest felt hollow. Not broken. Excavated. Like someone had removed the organs and left. A clean cavity behind. When she rolled over in her sleep and pressed against me, I didn't move. I just stared into the dark and began planning. I didn't confront her. Confrontation is chaos. Chaos is inefficient. Instead, I built a stage. I became her confessor. I asked gentle questions about guilt, about secrets, about whether writing things down could heal hidden wounds. I framed it as therapy I read about. She clung to the idea instantly. People love rituals that promise absolution. Each night she talked more. Not specifics, feelings, regret, fear of losing me. Irony tasted metallic in my mouth. I encouraged honesty. I praised vulnerability. Inside, I was drafting legal strategy. Phone records were easy. Financial transfers easier. Hotel receipts hidden in cloud backups she didn't know existed. I collected everything like a museum curator preserving artifacts of betrayal. Still, it wasn't enough. I wanted her voice. Her handwriting. Her confession without pressure. A voluntary unveiling, something no lawyer could twist. Something undeniable. So I held her while she cried and whispered, "Write it down. All of it. You'll feel lighter." She nodded into my chest. That night she stayed up until 3 a.m., scratching her sins onto paper while I pretended to sleep. I listened to every stroke of the pen, each one a nail sealing the coffin of the life we had. The lawyer answered on the second ring. "I have it," I said quietly, eyes still on her. "A written confession, detailed." Her smile faltered. Just a flicker. Confusion replacing relief. "What are you—" I held up a finger. Not to silence her. To time her. "Yes," I continued into the phone. "Infidelity, financial deception, emotional damages. I'll send scans today." Her face drained. I watched realization crawl across her skin like frost. She looked at the pages in my hand as if they'd transformed into weapons. Maybe they had. "You said this was for us," she whispered. "It is," I replied. My voice didn't shake. "For me?" The lawyer spoke again, Logistics, filing, evidence chain. I confirmed everything calmly, thanked him, and ended the call. The silence afterward was surgical. She stared at me like she didn't recognize the man sitting across from her. That was fair. The man she loved had been an actor. A role I played until the script demanded a different ending. Tears filled her eyes. I felt nothing. Only completion. I stood, walked to the closet, opened it. She followed, shaking her head before I touched anything. Denial is instinctual. The body tries to outrun truth even when the mind has already surrendered. I began throwing her clothes into a suitcase. No anger, no shouting. Just efficiency. Fabric folding, zippers closing, the quiet rhythm of separation. "Please," she said. One word, raw. I carried the suitcase to the front door and opened it. Winter air sliced into the house. Snow swirled inside like a warning. Her things landed on the porch in a soft avalanche. She stepped outside barefoot, grabbing at them, crying my name like it was a lifeline. The doorframe framed her perfectly, a portrait of consequence. "I love you," she sobbed. I believed her. That was the tragedy. "I know," I said, and closed the door. Through the glass, I watched her collapse into the snow, clutching the pages to her chest. The confession soaking, ink bleeding into unreadable shadows. Truth dissolving, but I already had my copies. The house was quiet again. Not empty, corrected. I sat at the table where the pages had first touched my hands. A faint indentation remained in the wood like a ghost of weight. I ran my finger over it and felt a strange calm settle into my bones. This wasn't victory. Victory implies joy. This was alignment. The universe snapping back into shape after months of distortion. I thought about the man in the messages. About her laughter. About the version of me who would have begged, screamed, broken. He was gone. In his place sat someone colder, sharper. A man who understood that love without. Truth is just theater. And I had closed the show. Outside, the snow kept falling. Erasing footprints, softening edges. I didn't look for her again. Some confessions are meant to heal. Others are meant to end things properly. I folded my hands, breathed once, and felt the final thread detach inside my chest. She didn't break me, she finished me.